Start it up. Let's see. Let's play the fun game of John tries to remember how he does all this. It's a weekly game. You can tune in every Thursday.
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out what the smart move is to try and beat this.
You've come to the wrong place.
It's fair. It's fair.
Make sure this is the right one.
I feel like Magnagard needs some work.
Well,
beat this.
All right. That's correct.
I feel like Geospy could do well, but I don't think it's going to happen.
All right. I got to close Discord so I don't get any noises on here. I forget sometimes we do video now. I'm like sitting here just making my hair even messier as I. You remember that, right?
I remember what?
Having messy hair. And/or hair.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. When I had it, it was messy.
Yeah, I recall.
For sure.
Okay. Hey, there are people here.
Hello there.
I don't know. Did we read a tweet from earlier this evening? Doesn't sound like something we would do.
Did we do a what?
Nev is asking if we read their tweet. I don't know. Let me look. I don't know if you guys are aware of this. We're very negligent with our Twitter.
On Reddit.
What?
This event is like a pleasant walk in a park where you suddenly fall into a meat grinder. Sounds about right.
You're doing a Shakespeare play with all of the content creators? I don't know what that is, but that definitely sounds something silly enough that we would do it. Did you tag us? I don't see anything.
What are you even talking about? What are your...
How about you try reading the comments, Sean?
I can't on my screen. You are the comment master.
I'm the gatekeeper.
You are.
Link us that tweet. Because I'm not digging through all of that.
What is that link?
I know we should get started. But now I'm desperate to find this tweet because I'm very curious.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, geez, there it is. How did I miss that 3 hours ago?
Probably me screwing around on the account. Breezed right past the notification.
Sean.
There we go. Now I can see comments.
I can see comments now. The app is good.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's the tweet.
Mm-hmm. Man, oh man. It's Padmé event. It's all that's going to be on my mind for the next couple days. I can't be missing a couple stars and just not think about it.
Yeah.
Tomorrow at work's going to be impossible for me to focus. I mean, I never focus, but it'll be real hard tomorrow.
Okay. I did find the tweet, Nev, and I just replied to it. So now the ball's in your court.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta open all this garbage back up. Maybe you don't realize it, of course, that Sean and I are former thespians.
Former, so, yeah, I suppose.
Actually, I was never.
It's been like
long time.
A very long time. Yeah.
Technically, thespians is an official thing. Like, there's a thespian group that you pay dues to and everything, which I was never a part of.
Oh, I'm aware. A good friend of mine is a part of that world.
Okay. I'm sure it's going to be fascinating to go back and watch later for everybody.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it'll really catch people in the first couple minutes to
maybe I'll add
our element.
I'll add a time stamp thingy so they can just cut right to where the show actually starts. That seems like a smart thing to do. So definitely out of character for us. Okay. I think we're good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Padmé.
Pad us.
Padmé not. Let's see.
You've had better. I'm ready to go whenever you are, sir.
Let's do this. Let's record us a show.
Okay.
And I am now recording and checking levels, which it looks like mine are good now. Okay. Good deal. Make sure my space heater doesn't fire up while we're I hear your fingers just rattling. Boshuda, fellow Holotable hustlers, you're tuned into Radio Free Tatooine's Galactic War Report, a Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes podcast that's better than some and worse than others. I'm Sean, aka the other Sean, and sitting across the Holotable from me is an impossible to kill fish Jedi. I'm sorry, no, that's John, the uncanny Mr. H.
I'm a very easy to kill fish Jedi.
Yes, fish Jedi nonetheless. Easy to mix them up. We've got some stuff to talk about tonight. I feel like there's a couple things to get out of the way first and foremost, we just learned, as we record this day, we just learned of the passing of Peter Mayhew, and that is, obviously a huge impact on the world of Star Wars, on the fandom, just a shining beacon of positivity for a fandom that probably doesn't deserve that. But yeah, just our hearts go out to him, his family right now. That's terrible news right before we record to find that out.
It's really inconvenient for us.
Right. Yes, of course. But so what I've done is I have changed my profile pic in the game, the portrait that you can select, to Chewbacca, and I've encouraged our listeners to do the same, just for a few days, show a little support for the original Wookiee. And I've said something in all the servers I'm a part of on Discord, and I've seen on our Arena Shard, there's been a few popping up. So it's spreading like a little, It just makes me happy to see more Chewbacca faces out there. So that, and then I feel like it's a public service announcement also. Toward the top of the show, we should announce we've got double drops coming.
Oh yeah,
they're coming, right? May 4th and May 5th, double drops. So if you are so inclined, you probably want to maybe stockpile a bit of energy all day, because this show will drop Friday morning, and you can just stock that up.
It's not that much though.
You want to get your 600 for guild activity, or for raid tickets. I'm sorry, but besides that, just sit on it. Sit on it. Double drops. Now more than ever. Now we're back down to 5 attempts. We needs it.
There are smarter people than I out there, believe it or not. And I'm sure someone's done the math on this. But is it worth wasting the energy you would be regenerating to get a double drop out of that?
Yes. I'm going to say yes.
You're going to go with yes?
Yeah, I haven't done the math.
That does sound hard.
My plan is to stockpile enough so that I'm about full on energy when it switches over.
Yeah, that's usually what I do. I try to actually, with my at my 10 o'clock energy thing, I very often go over the max for energy, and I sit on it until the next day a lot of times.
Now, if I recall correctly, you'd think I'd have this pulled up. I don't. Let me see.
I don't know what you're looking up, but I wouldn't think that.
Actually, no, it's right here. It is okay. Double drops for hard nodes in light side and dark side, fleet battles, and cantina battles. So you can spend your mod energy. It looks like there's no double drops on that, from what we've gotten communicated to us.
We'll see how that pans out. But
so I plan on spending for mods and stockpiling the rest. Cantina is super easy to stockpile. It generates so slowly. Just don't do it tomorrow.
Yeah. So what are you planning on spending your double drops on?
Same stuff I'm farming, really.
Yeah, so you're just going to try and get a little edge in what you're already working on.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No big strategy. Just going after the stuff I normally would be farming. Just getting more of it, hopefully. So, and for May the 4th, we're also getting a ton of good stuff. We're getting 20 Zeta mats. That's a welcome addition. Especially while we've got this Padme thing going on, where we need all the Zetas we can get to have a hope at this.
Sure.
We will definitely be talking about Padme a little later in the program, because I think we both got some stuff to say about her and the event and that stupid unkillable fish Jedi. Some things to say. So yeah, we're getting 20 Zeta mats, no Omegas to go with it. So keep that in mind. If you're low on Omegas, hold on to what you got, because you're going to need it. And what else? We're getting mod salvage like crazy. I would list them all out, but it's like 50 of all the pieces,
It's
except
a
for
lot.
the modulator thing. The yellow piece will get 20 of those, which is enough to take one from 5 up to 6 dots. So that is going to be helpful. That's awesome. And then we have a crystal bonus for crystal packs in the shop for the, what is it, like the $5, $10, and $20 packs?
Yeah, it's like
Or
50%
5,
more.
and 20.
Or 25%
like
more.
Yeah. Yep. Decent little bonus. So I will be picking those up to help me in my quest for Padme. And I think that's all the bonus stuff, right? Yep.
That sounds right.
That's what they're giving us. Oh, and as we record on a Thursday, today, nice little surprise in the shop that that new pack.
What
was it?
The gold balls?
360 crystals or 365? I think it was 365.
Something along those lines.
For the gold ball raffle.
You got a 50, didn't you?
I got a 25. But that's still a value. It's normally 375 for 25 in the shop, and that's a good value. So that was a great little treat, and everyone who got 50 was, appropriately thrilled.
Yeah, I got 25 also, but at the time we were talking about it in our guild Discord, I was the only one who got 25, and I had a sad face. But
we're both a couple losers.
Can't argue.
Yeah. We're going to talk about what else. What else have we got? We got a couple of oopsies that happened here.
A couple of oopsie doos.
We had some oopsie doos. We had some connection issues today. Right. I feel like it was shortly after the territory battle.
Same time.
Phase switch. So a lot of it was you're
right, because territory battle, phase switch, and Padme were at the same time, and it melted their poor servers.
So a lot of people, some people in our guild had issues in territory battles, and certainly connecting to try and do the Padme event.
You weren't active at that point, right?
I was. I wasn't doing anything. I just like simmed a couple battles and got some gear or whatever, and then I got booted.
I tried to hop in right away, and it was not fun. And I was like, you know what? I should just come back in a little bit and do it again. But nope, I still sat there, smash and try again to try and get it into the Padme event.
I did it a couple times. As soon as I see like the alert that someone in our guild or on Reddit or on the forums or whatever, as soon as I see there's an issue, I'm like, all right, I can. This is the one time per day where I'm going to put my phone in my pocket and just do something else, But that was resolved pretty quickly. And then also, John, you ran into this issue where suddenly your sound popped back on. Which has been off since you installed the game.
It's actually illegal. I don't know if you're aware of this, to give me sound in a game that I did not request.
In the state of Michigan, it is criminal.
It is. Of all the things it is legal to do. Yeah, no, after the update yesterday, which put the event into the game, anytime your game restarted, it turned all your sound back on. Even though it said off in the settings, but you could still toggle it and it would turn it back off.
Right.
Fortunately, I was just sitting on the couch playing, not like pulling out in the middle of a meeting or something at work, and the sound came on. So between these two issues, I would like a lot of Clone War Chewie shards. I feel like it's only appropriate for the inconvenience of having to go into a menu and toggle sound. One time till I just turned the media sound off on my phone, and I don't even know if it's working right now.
Yeah.
Did that happen for you too? Or you play with it on anyway?
No, I usually keep it on. My sound off is just a universal, like,
right.
I silence everything on my phone.
Yeah.
So that still works. But the in-game sounds pop back on. Has that been resolved now?
I don't know. My sound has still been off on my phone. I haven't.
I hadn't read that it had been resolved, but
Let's
yeah,
find
that
out.
was my understanding. Is the workaround is to just toggle it on and then back off, and it goes away until you restart the app.
Oops! I apparently last time oh no, it's still doing it because.
There we go.
Hey, I'm gonna do this real quick because I apparently left my phone right as another attempt. That was me trying to beat this 7-star.
This is us before recording today. We do a DOS chat for patrons where, before we record for a half hour or so, we have a little chat on Discord with whoever's around, and it was like the worst chat. Like, they were talking, and like one of them had a 7-star Padmé, and the other one was trying to strategize on how to get the next tier. I think he had 6-star going for 7 there. And John and I are just playing. Like,
yeah.
Stupid Kenobi grunting, and
it's like this.
really
He's got a sliver left. Oh, this is so maddening.
That sliver's gonna kill you, though.
Literally.
Mm-hmm. Man, I had a Grand Arena match today against a Darth Revan team. Darth Revan, HK, and Bastila. Killed Bastila, got Revan down to a sliver, and HK down to yellow, at least. And I couldn't seal the deal.
Yeah.
I eventually just forgot to do the rest of my attacks and lost the round anyways. But
Sean, no joke. As this attempt I left on my phone at the opening thing, right now, I have Ventress and Kenobi are in a Grievous versus Mace. This might happen right now. So
right here on Galactic War Report.
1 minute. It won't take me long
John
to die.
Might just get redemption for his life choices.
That can't be right.
No, absolutely not. Well, while he's doing that, let me take a quick moment to give a shout out to our patrons who have joined us for the DOF chat, but we appreciate all of you. The $1 donation gets you into the Discord, so you can just chat with us anytime. And if you are able to give $1 a month, we'd love to have you. If you're not able, just don't. It's it's that simple.
Yeah, I just unlocked it. It's fitted the 7th tier, so kind of.
You just did what?
I just did it.
You did it.
I just did it.
You beat tier 7
just now.
This is ridiculous.
Sorry about your. I know this is discouraging for you because now I won't commiserate with you because I can tell you how easy it was. And easy for me to handle.
This is exactly what I feared. John would get something I don't, and you're not gonna use it, are you?
That's not true. I have a lot of plans for her. I would like to use her with clones.
No.
Hey, I'm working on my Kenobi and Anakin. Thank you very much. Okay. I can die. I can rest easy now.
Yeah. John will sleep like a baby tonight. Not like a baby, like something that sleeps well,
Well, I got it. I'm sorry, there goes the whole premise for the show, I guess.
I'm gonna be up all night trying to get this ridiculous thing.
I'm probably gonna have to work at work tomorrow.
I made loadouts. I don't use loadouts. I mod everyone. And made loadouts for this.
Okay, so the patron, we talked about our Patreon. Do it if you want to come chat with us beforehand. You could have heard me be very mad about this for a while.
Yeah, it was gold.
So now that I have conquered this mountain, this insurmountable summit, maybe I can impart some of my wisdom upon you, Sean.
Yeah.
So how far have you gotten with this Padmé event?
I've beaten tier 5. Tier 6 beats me senseless.
It does.
And what I'm using is a Gear 11 General Grievous as lead, a Gear 9 Magna Guard, That's pretty rough. Gear 12, Asajj Ventress, double Zeta. Gear 11, B2, and a Gear 11 Sunfac. And that's
What was your
much...
Ventress was 11, you said?
Ventress is 12.
You don't have Grievous?
12. No, I've got Grievous as my lead.
Oh, okay.
Gear.
I thought I said Dooku for some reason.
No, I've been running it without Dooku. I have a Gear 10 Dooku, but he just gets slaughtered so fast.
Yeah.
So my thought here is gear up that Magna Guard a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe even gear up the B2. He only needs one piece to get to 12. And I think I can do it this week. So that he can hold better mods.
Right.
So, I mean, that's kind of a double bonus. They're giving us a Zeta, and I'm going to have a Zeta put together before this goes. So I've got 2 Zetas I could apply. And the only Zetas on that team that I have are Ventress's lead, which I'm not using.
Doesn't do any good.
Unique.
That being said, I think there is perhaps a way forward to use Ventress's lead, even just for her to be removing turn meter.
Sure.
But probably not a lot of it, because it's just her using it.
Plus 30 offense. Plus 30% offense, I'm sorry.
And speed.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's not bad. So, you're getting stuck in tier 6, you said, right?
Yeah. I can't drop anybody. I mean, I'm focusing on Padmé as much as one can.
Yeah, I mean, early on, I breezed through the first 6 tiers on my first try every time.
Yeah.
But I was using Grievous, Dooku, Ventress, B2, and Magna Guard.
Mm-hmm. How's your Dooku?
Gear 12.
Okay.
I don't have a Zeta on him or anything, and he's got mediocre mods at best. I Gear 12 him just because I was Gear 12ing Separatists, or I'd started to. Mm-hmm. I have those 5 at Gear 12, and those are the only 5 I have at Gear 12 for Separatists.
I could reasonably get him up to 11. In a couple days, I think.
But Grievous is one of the few characters I actually have maxed out. And he's got 5 out of 6 are gold mods, the 60 mods. So yeah, but up until tier 7, my strategy was to kill Fish Guy first.
Sure.
Just to not worry about that res. But as somebody pointed out, and it made perfect sense, is since he's a Jolie clone, he can't res Padmé anyway, so you can kill Padmé first to at least make things go a little bit easier for you. Which is then what I did. For tier 7 there, when it finally worked, I went Padmé, Fish Guy, Anakin, Mace, Kenobi.
Okay.
Yeah, that's really.
Obviously, you want B2 to dispel. You need B2, basically, from what I'm gathering.
Something to be cognizant of while you're doing this, and actually one of our friend of the show, Shin Ronan, was asking why are none of my stuns landing? And that's because with Padmé, I got to double check the verbiage on this, but while they have protection up, they're immune to debuffs.
Mm-hmm.
Where is it? And while they have protection up, they resist all debuffs and can't be critically hit. So keeping protection up off of those guys is huge. So
yeah,
that's why Ventress
is also what Ventress does. Yeah,
Ventress, and so is IG 100 also has a dispel, single target dispel.
As does Sunfac.
Correct.
Is basic.
Correct. And that's good if you're focusing on somebody. But B2 is great because not just his constant AoE dispel, but also the buff block. So they can't get that protection up, which means you can land stuns from Skittering Horror or Dooku's Shock. I can't remember what his is called. It might just be Force Lightning. I don't remember.
Yes, it is.
And Ventress's stun And actually, IG-100 also has a stun. So there's a lot of stuns to be had, but you have to keep protection up off of them. So that's key to beating
I'd say
tier 7.
buff immunity on Kenobi seems pretty important as well, because as much as you want to be able to focus on Padme, you can't do it if Kenobi's left to do his thing.
No, and that's actually what helped a lot. Is I got buff block, and then I managed to stun him, and then he just hung around until after I'd killed Padme. Because his reactive taunt will screw you over pretty quick. Because when I have to look at Kenobi's kit again, I don't use him very much. It's whenever somebody else is critically hit, he taunts, right?
Right.
So that's kind of the downside. Is if they have protection up, they can't be crit, which means heal will never taunt. But they're going to resist everything and also have a ton more protection. Because she's given like 40% protection to Galactic Republic for each stack of that. Or I should say, if you're ever doing assists, the general one that she does isn't like that. But so, yeah, that's kind of tier 6. I don't remember, honestly. I beat it too quick to have any problem with it.
You and your Separatists.
I know. Well, it's just the droids.
So I'm sure I will beat tier 6. Just
yeah, but what's also interesting is that Padme doesn't use courage at all until tier 7. So like,
I don't even know that pain.
Yeah, it's because they get courage every turn. They dispel all their protection up and gain courage, right? So if you're doing a good job of keeping protection up off of them, you don't have to worry about it. That's really what it comes down to. But the problem is it's like a mini expose when they have courage. Every 5 stack of courage, the next time they hit you, they're doing 40% of the target's max health in addition. So your Grievous can have as much health as you want. But
they're still going to cut them down just as fast.
I think that's how I was, because my Grievous has like 61,000 health and like 34,000 protection, and a lot of times I was losing. Like Anakin, before I could go, Anakin would do his AOE, and he'd be down to yellow health, like he was all protection and half his health. And I think I wasn't paying that close attention. Padme can give everybody like a 5 protection up on a turn with one of her cunning plan, which then means that in addition to Anakin's AoE being great to begin with, he's dealing an additional 40% of your max health with that hit.
Jeez. Yeah.
So, long story short, you're going to have a little bit of a RNG to it. It seems like a lot of it is when there's just like a sliver of health left on somebody, or Anakin doesn't always use that AoE as his opening volley. Usually if Grievous was hit hard before I got to do anything, I would just retreat and start over. I mean, I didn't really bang my head too hard on it. I mean, I did it probably 15, 20 times when we were in Doth chat, and I'd only tried it a handful of times before that.
But that's not that much for one of these events.
It's like 20 minutes.
Yeah,
and
I've only done it maybe 10 times. So,
but again, I have good droids.
Now, did you and for that last victory, had you moved any mods, or you just kind of?
I went and fixed some of Grievous's mods. I hadn't looked at them in a while, so I had a couple newer, better mods for health.
Okay.
I got an extra like 4,000 health out of the deal. It's not really critical. His speed went up by about 5. So I mean, it wasn't bad. Even before I moved any mods whatsoever, I was still often getting down to Kenobi and Mace, or Kenobi and Padme. And so it was just that time a couple of good stuns landed, and I was able to bring it home. I did at one point have Padme, Fish Guy, and Kenobi all stunned, and that was very helpful.
Yeah, I imagine.
So there is some RNG. It's not as bad as some other events, in my vast opinions on the event. That didn't take me too long.
Yeah.
But like I said, I have, and that team I was using, except for Dooku, I had every available Zeta. I had both on Grievous, both on Ventress, and I had B2 and Magna Guard.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not
good news that you can do it, because your guys are way better than mine.
Sure. It my Dooku's Gear 12, but like I have bad mods on him. I literally don't know the last time I touched his mods. It's probably been a year. I don't even know.
I just went through and remodded almost everything.
Yeah, well, you
because I got Revan, so that changes your priorities a lot.
You sent out a clarion call last week for the Black Sun Heroes to go through and do a massive remodding, and I just haven't.
We did get some response to that. We had a few people pop in and really step up the mod game. So
we did have some folks in the guild who were like, "Yeah, okay, I hear you."
I guess, yeah. It just takes so long.
Ain't nobody got time for that. I mean, what I mean is, everybody should do it in our guild specifically.
Yeah, and someone can borrow John's account and do it for him.
If you would. No, somebody will take all my good mods off of L3 and I'll be very upset.
Yeah, really.
Do I only have droids maxed out? I think the only characters I've maxed are all droids. This probably says something.
A little bit. Mine are mostly rebels. I'm thinking.
I think as a faction, you're in the lead.
I do love me some rebels.
There's enough of them.
So, I remember joking a while ago. You remember you had your Gear 12 Emperor or Gear 12 Empire project?
Oh yeah.
And I thought, I'll do a Gear 12 Rebel project. And we were like, ha 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 ha. I'm like almost there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just kind of stumbling.
Well, that's the thing too. Like because you already had most of the good characters at Gear 12, right? So you got a lot of old garbage characters that are probably fairly easy to gear that you've been just kind of going through.
Yeah, the Hoth Rebel Bros. That's not a high priority.
No, I would imagine not. I mean, my droids are getting close because that's kind of where I was working. Yeah, it's just
most droids still have some kind of use,
Yeah, I mean, other than the two that I can't Gear 12 yet, and they're ready to go, B1 and Droideka, and then 3PO, who I was working on, but I kind of fell by the wayside as I needed gear for characters I used.
Plays well with Padme.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I plan on trying to do something with Padme. Maybe if I can really get some of these other characters up real quick, I can make some headway in Arena for a month until everybody else gets Padme again, and I just get wrecked.
Yeah, so Padme, it's interesting. The intent, according to Capital Games, is that the Galactic Republic team will sit in a place where it's kind of equivalent to a Darth Revan team without Malak, or a Jedi Knight Revan team,
right?
Somewhere around that area where they still
I'll
want
take a third best, honestly, right now.
Yeah, exactly. I'm looking at it like, okay, well, it's going to be better than CLS. Okay, please, Padme, save me.
I still, because now that I can grind B1 and Droideka, I still want to make the Separatist droids work like really successfully. Although I'll probably still end up keeping T3 in there because he's very useful. As much as I love Droideka, there's just in Arena there's too many dispels, and that damage immunity buff goes away so fast. Which is really what you need to make them super useful. But yeah, I'll probably gonna try and trot her Padme out once I figure out what's going on with her gear, because there's some wacky gear that I don't really know about that I need to go to gear.
Hasn't come into our realm of like our lives yet.
Yeah, it's grindable though, so
Yeah. So let's talk about Padme a little bit.
Okay.
We haven't spoken of the kit at all.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of gave a
Uh,
little bit of a thing while we were talking about the event. Um,
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
it's not a super complicated kit compared to some of the other recent characters we've had.
Not terribly. A lot of the abilities are, I mean, her zetas are both passive things, you know.
Right.
Um,
So her basic
so
does good
playing
damage
her isn't.
and gives protection up to
Mm-hmm.
everybody. Um,
Mm-hmm.
she has a 3-turn cooldown that dispels all debuffs, and they get back 50% health, and then they get back they get a bunch of protection
This is
up.
all for Galactic Republic. That's
Yeah.
her synergy is very
Well,
limited to
Cunning
that.
Plan, the dispel debuffs and heal does work on all light side allies, but
Mm-hmm.
so the whole thing is basically she stacks up protection up for everybody, right? Because then she has
Mm-hmm.
that interacts with something else a little later, and she also has Graceful Assault, which deals damage and stuns them, and it calls all light side allies that have protection up. And Anakin to assist. I don't think it calls him twice if he has protection up.
I don't believe it does.
Yeah, but her leader ability is where this gets pretty wacky.
Bicep.
It's a cool, unwavering courage. Light side allies get 50% max health plus 50%, and while they have protection up, which is a lot, they resist all debuffs and cannot be critically hit. And then at the beginning of their turn, they dispel all the protection ups that they have, which is a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And instead, they get 1 stack of courage, which is a blue. I think they call it a status effect because it's not a buff or a debuff because it can't be dispelled.
Yeah.
And for each, they get 1 stack of courage for each 5% of the protection up they dispelled. So if they had 30% protection up, they'd get 6 stacks of courage. And then courage. Next time you hit somebody, for every 5 stacks of courage you have, you lose those 5 stacks and you deal bonus damage equal to 40% of the target's max health.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to get as much protection up as possible, which makes you immune to debuffs and you can't be critted. Then on your turn, it turns into courage.
You convert that to big damage.
Which turns into damage. Which is great. That's a great leader ability. That does have a Zeta on it. And always a choice. She's immune to fear, which I think is a cool little nod to the character, right?
Yeah.
But whenever a light side ally loses protection up, which is going to be often because they dispel it themselves, they recover. They recover 5% health. Allies can't gain or lose bonus turn meter.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess Ventress isn't going to be removing turn meter from anybody in the event.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Right.
Whenever an enemy attacks out of turn against a Galactic Republic ally, that ally gains 10% protection up. But it does not stack with itself. It's just, but anyway, that goes up to 40% if Padme is the leader, which probably will be. And that protection up can't be prevented or dispelled. So the only real confusing thing about it, basically, she stacks a bunch of protection up, which turns into courage, which turns into damage. The only confusing part is which protection up they're getting, how much percentage is it, and what stacks with what. It's going to be, you're not going to keep...
This is all automatically calculated by the game.
Right. But if you're trying to
read this, I look at it and I'm like, if I was a dungeon master and someone had a D&D character that did this, I'd be like, get out. No. I'm not tracking.
It would depend on if it was somebody I trusted. There are certain players who I'd be like, you know what? I believe that you're going to handle it and do it right. And others I would not. But yeah, no, but if you're trying to keep track of exactly what's going on with this kit in the heat of battle, you're not. You'll know they have protection up, but you're not going to know how much of what, which is not super important.
Be a neat thing that happens. And the number, it's impossible to know.
Right. So it's a great kit. I do want to try it with clones. It's not going to be great with clones. I don't see like a whole lot of. I mean, they're Galactic Republic, so it'll be fine. But like, Rex would be the only one I could think of. Except,
yeah, that's the only one I could.
except
see.
maybe like Clone Sergeant, because he actually hits pretty hard.
But the thing is, Rex, a lot of his benefit. Yeah, I don't even think Rex, because he's all about cleansing and tenacity up, and
Which
like
you don't
they
need.
all have baked in tenacity up, basically.
Hear me out though. Oh no, because they can't get bonus turn meter.
No, they can't.
Oh well, the small case I had for Plo Koon is gone.
Yep.
I mean, it was razor thin to begin with.
So. I mean, the obvious team here is she's going to be a leader, and the obvious team is going to be Anakin, Kenobi, and Ahsoka. I mean, that's
and you
those four.
Throw a 3PO in the background.
Solid. You could do a 3PO. You could do a Yoda. You can do R2. I think those three really stand out to me as the.
Well, you're not going to need your last spot for damage, right? Padme does good damage, and Anakin, that's what he does. So might I suggest Zeta Barris?
Maybe.
She'll be immune to crits.
Oh, yeah, but
that's what triggers her thing, though.
She makes people heal when they get critically hit.
Well, right. So
it's critically hit.
So it's either they're immune to crits or they're healing. Those it's a binary option that you have.
Yeah, no. It's kind of a redundancy kind of.
Right.
So if you get past this, then you got that.
Yeah, because you don't need it for offense. You got that covered.
No, but I would argue Yoda's
better.
More to the table.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean the battle meditation is gonna go far. Already,
it's hard to pass up a good BM. We know that.
It's hard to pass a good BM.
Let's take a quick look here. Let's think of somebody out of the box here. Ayla Secura, maybe. She hits fairly decently, as I recall.
You could do worse. You could do worse than Ayla. Sure.
Calling assists. All right, that's not bad. Wait a minute. How does Padme's thing is it worded? Do they automatically resist? They resist all debuffs.
Oh, I thought it said immune to.
Oh, but that's her leader. No, they resist, which means that anything that triggers on a resist will trigger, even though they're immune effectively, but they resist instead of.
Sure.
Cup would be an obvious choice.
Obviously. Yeah, I mean Qui-Gon would be fine.
I mean, Mace is gonna get a rework, right? I mean, just because
Ayla would be fine. I think Mace will probably get some kind of attention.
I mean, R2 is never a bad idea.
I mean, if they just release that fish Jedi,
it's just Jolie. They just want
Mon Calamari.
We want Jolie to be in this event, so.
Yeah, I honestly I feel like 3PO, R2, or Yoda are the strong choices.
I would think on defense,
until I see a different rework, I think that's going to be the answer.
Yeah, I mean, you could use Smokescreen to give Anakin foresight or advantage rather for his AOE. If he's got like 10 stacks of courage, make sure it's a crit. That'd be spicy.
Big nasty AOE. Golly, it's been a while since Anakin doing big nasty AOE was meta.
Yeah, but very true.
We are. It's good to be home.
Annie, we're home.
Yeah, so that's Padme. I mean, it's a real, I mean, people were having a lot of fun with Kenobi, Anakin, and Ahsoka, and that's great. But Padme really does bring this all together as the team. So
hear me out. 3v3 Grand Arena. Padme, Kenobi, Anakin.
Sure.
No, thank you. I mean, I'll have it.
Yeah. I would run it, is what I'm saying.
But as somebody who has been running into all the other really good teams lately, I look forward to that.
very high survivability, one of those brick wall kind of teams where you have to bring a very specific type of counter to it.
Right.
So you can only annihilate one person per grand arena. So
you can blow them up. But with all that bonus protection, I don't even think a probe droid's going to get the job done.
No, I don't think so.
Even without all that, it's hard. You can't take out a fully kitted out Kenobi.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's pretty significant. No real meta shifts.
It's the same. I mean, Darth Revan lost a little bit of ground, but that's about it.
Anakin falters up and down a little bit, but he's not even top 10.
That seems to depend on the day. No.
Yeah. No. I would think he's top 15, but certainly not 10.
Yeah.
So with that said, I mean, we do have to talk about one other thing.
Okay, hit me.
How was you grinding?
Well, I'm grinding the last 2 Separatist droids because I can now, and I'm gonna be going ham on that once.
Double drops.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, I've got them both. I think one of them is right at the 6-star limit. The other one is a couple of shards over. So I'm feeling pretty good with the progress. And now I guess I'm not in as much of a hurry since I don't need it for Padme, since I did get it.
Man.
I feel pretty good about that. It's been a while since I one-dayed one of the new legendary characters.
Yeah.
But so I'm working on those 2, and I am gearing up my Anakin and General Kenobi, which most of you did probably 2 years ago, 2.5.
Yeah.
So I'm ready for
There's been like 3 different times when you could have geared up your Anakin. Like, I mean, when I guess 2 maybe, but speed AoE meta, and then when his ship came out, a lot of people took him to 12 because his ship was really good for 2 or 3 weeks.
Well, regardless, I didn't do it.
Yeah,
I do. The reason I did it or was doing it originally is because I know that the clones are going to get reworks, or they're going to add more clones. One of the 2, right? I mean, this isn't like breaking news. We don't have any inside information, but they're gonna do it, right?
Yeah, clones will have something happen to them,
right?
Got to.
So,
they need it.
I wanted to use Anakin and or General Kenobi with that because I like how their leadership abilities actually interact with them. Mm-hmm. Plus, then in a 3v3, again, all pre-Padme, I was thinking I could put Anakin and 2 clones behind him and Kenobi and 2 clones behind him on defense, and it would be pretty good.
If they get a rework.
No, I mean, even now they'd be okay. But remember, I didn't like have plans for using them, but
yeah, I feel like those 2 are definitely stronger together than if you were to split them at this point.
Yes, but if I want to take advantage of the leader abilities, Anakin's is okay.
Leader ability?
It's
like
he has a bunch of offense. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess not great. Kenobi's is fantastic for
30% offense, 20% crit damage.
Yeah.
And when an ally is evaded, whenever an ally is evaded, they gain advantage 2 turns. Sure, neat.
Yeah, it's not.
It's definitely not a 2019 leader ability.
No. So, yeah, that's mostly what I'm working on. I mean, I'm still grinding like old man Han. I'm still kind of slowly but surely. I'm not spending crystals on that. I'm just chugging.
Right.
That's about it. I guess I should probably grind a ship at some point. Like just one, maybe.
Sure.
I'm accidentally grinding the IG-2000 because it's on the same shard as the Droideka or B1, whichever one's on the fleet. So I'm accidentally getting shards of that, which is good.
I think it's the 2000. Yeah.
Well, no, I should. Yes, it's IG-2000, but I don't know I think it might be the B1 that's on that.
Oh yeah, it is B1.
Yeah, who they share.
You're right, because I'm I'm working on that.
Yeah. So, who will you grind him?
Well, B1. For shards, finishing up Aura Singh. She'll be done this weekend, I'm sure. And then I'll move over to Sith Marauder, I guess. That'll be my next thing for Cantina. For hard nodes, I'm working on primarily Rose and Django. Both coming along very nicely.
Yeah.
Rose is almost 6, and Django is probably 20 out of 100, something like that.
Okay.
Then the B1 is getting, well, actually, I do 5 attempts of Karth, and then any leftover is B1, so that's like 2 or 3 a day. So B1's like a real slow, I gotta spend it on something, so it's going toward him. For gear, I've been working on Revan. I unlocked him.
Right. I forgot about that.
Jedi Knight Revan. And I've got him at gear 9 right now, and he's super close to 10. But I'm just kind of waiting on a piece of Rancor gear. He's like, I was super unprepared for it, so he's just taking forever to gear. But right now, the last couple days, I have not actually applied anything to him because I am holding on to gear for this Padmé event. Like, if I can get really close and a piece of gear might matter, it might push someone over a level or something, then I'm trying to hold on to that for that.
Sure.
For ships, I'm finishing up Xanadu Blood. And then it's the only other thing I have any interest in is Geonosians. So I've kind of been working on Geos a little bit here and there too. So really Xanadu Blood and Geos. The shards are all there. It's just, getting the abilities built up. And I'm actually very close, about like a week, maybe a little more, about a week away from having enough prestige to max out a new capital ship if they drop one.
Oh, wow.
So that feels kind of good.
They gotta though, right?
Someday. The magic number is 1,950 is what we calculated. So I'm at about 1,900 right now. So
you'll be
should be able to do that pretty soon. Which would be kind of nice because that's the only thing I'm spending my Squad Arena tokens on. So I can just start spending that on credits instead, which ain't so bad.
Yeah, I do it for shard currency, but...
So then my big question is, where's my next Zeta going?
I'm going to have 3 here on Saturday, and all the Omegas to go with it. And
yeah.
It'll probably depend on whether I feel like putting mine on my Galactic Republic, but as for you... I mean, so I have one that I'll have put together in a few days, and then we're getting one on Saturday. So realistically, I can potentially have 2 to use on this Padmé event if I need to. Sure.
So from what it sounds like, Grievous's unique is a really powerful one.
Yeah.
So there's a pretty good chance that's going to happen.
And you'll
out of necessity.
You'll get use out of him in the territory battle, I'm pretty sure.
Sure. Yeah, I love the character, so I don't really lament having to do that,
Sure.
If I have to put one on Magna Guard, I'll get a little saltier, You
have to. I was privileged to.
Yeah. So I think if I do that, and there's a good chance I give one to Grievous, and I still can't, get where I want to be, what's the next best? Is it his leader? I mean, is that for my squad? I've got Ventress's unique, so she's out of the equation. So it's like between his leader, B2, and Magna Guard. The Sunfac doesn't have a Zeta.
Well, I mean, B2's is good, but it only benefits Separatist droids.
Sure, which would be 3 out of 5.
Yeah, if your Magna Guard wasn't...
I mean,
your Magna Guard's gear 9, so I don't know how much it's going to help you.
So, well, that's the gear that I'm focusing on grinding right now. Is the stuff that will take him to 10.
I remember him
If I
kind
can do
of
that,
being a pain to
definitely.
grind, or his gear though.
Yeah, he's got stun cuffs and a stun gun is what I'm working on right now, and that
Yeah,
you know how fun those are.
I seem to recall that you're going to need to get used to that too.
Yay.
Yeah.
So that, and then my Jedi Knight Revan only has one Zeta. So if I can clear this event without Zetas, which I can't, but if I get the 6-star and I feel like there's just no chance at a 7, I'm not going to slap Zetas around to try and make it happen.
Yeah, you don't. I'm sorry. I'm looking at Grievous's Zeta on his leadership. I don't think it's gonna make a difference for you.
You don't think so?
When a target locked enemy is damaged, each droid and each separatist ally gains 2% turn meter doubled for General Grievous. You're not gonna be doing a ton of target locking. There'll be some,
Yeah.
but not enough that I would spend a Zeta on it for you.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know. That's just me.
So really, Magna Guard might be a decent Zeta.
Well,
or just don't even worry about it. Give him the unique, see what happens, and
that's probably what I would do. Let me look
probably spend that other one on Padme or Anakin or Ahsoka or something.
Yeah, I mean, his is the big thing that his debuff move.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, if it doesn't have anything to dispel, it has no cooldown.